right, guys. Welcome to the Damn Good HQ, episode 2. How are you doing?
Feeling great.
Yeah, good to be here.
So we have a special guest. JT, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Joey Taylor. Most people know me as JT. I'm a full-time trader, investor, and entrepreneur.
Dope. Like it. Yeah, let's kind of just get straight into it. Let's just talk about, obviously they know us.
Right.
Let's get to know you a little bit. How'd you start? What came into your mind to even start trading? I feel like that's kind of like it was kind of trendy, but I don't think you started when it was trendy.
Nah, I've been in it a few years before.
Yeah. So like, what made you start?
So I'm from the party capital of the USA, Lynchburg, Virginia.
Hail.
A little small dot right there in the middle of VA.
Okay.
Took a personal finance class in high school. They kind of introduced us to the stock market. They weren't really teaching us how to trade, but it was more like, this is what the stock market is, And I was always kind of a hustler, just interested in money, like flipping shoes and clothes and stuff like that. So when they introduced us to stocks, that caught my interest because I'm like, yo, this is where the real money is made for millionaires, billionaires. So for me, that introduction was kind of all I needed to start doing some independent research and knowing that this is something that I'm really going to take seriously going forward.
Dope. So it was kind of like a switch that just flipped for you, like instantly, like first day of class, or was it kind of like a progression where you were like, oh, this can make real money?
It was definitely a progression because I was never really like a great student, like real engaged. I kind of sit in the back of the class, you know what I mean? Just kind of coast through. But then I took that personal finance class. The more we got through it, I'm starting sitting in the front of the class. I'm engaged. I'm taking all these notes. I'm like, because I was just in it, like, this is money for me. So, and me being a hustler, like, the more it progressed, it was like the more I knew I need to get involved in this.
Yeah, that's dope. So from there, what were the next steps?
So 18, I got a job working at Domino's while I was a college student. So I'm delivering pizza, making a little bit of money from tips and from the paycheck. So I'm putting that money into the market, then start making flips in the market, winning some, losing some, kind of teaching myself, trial and error, stuff like that. And then eventually got to a point where I was being consistent and then realized that now I'm making more money in the market than I'm doing in my job. So quit my Domino's job. Damn. And then COVID hit. I dropped out of school and said I'm going to just go full-time with this trading and entrepreneurship thing.
That's great. So, like, what was that moment? Like, I feel like everyone has that, like, that moment that makes them quit what they're doing and then pursue what they really want to do.
Yeah, so I had work the next day, right? I was supposed to go there open first thing in the morning. And the day before, I had entered a trade and I was holding it overnight. And then I held that trade. When the market opened, I was instantly up like $5,000. And I said, so I just made 5 bands from doing this trading off my phone, and now you want me to go clock into work? Like, nah, I'm good.
Like, I was like, this isn't adding up anymore, my guy.
It doesn't make sense. Make sense.
At this point, it's costing me money to go to work.
Yeah.
It ain't costing you nothing to operate from your phone.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy. So $5,000 one day, then you quit Domino's, right? So you're still going to school at this time.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what was that switch in school where you were like, all right, now I'm done with working, I'm done with school? Like, what was that school switch?
That was 2020 when the pandemic started and they switched from in-person to online. And for most schools, it was a big mess, because then they went online and then they still want you to pay out the same amount of money. And then the online is not really you being taught. It's like you're basically teaching yourself. Professors weren't really involved. And it was just a big mess. So I said, at this point, I'm going to just take that chance and use this as an opportunity to run it up in the market. And, worst case scenario, I was 20 years old at the time. So I said, worst case scenario, I'll go back to school in maybe a year or two.
Got you, but you didn't.
Yeah.
So what was the progression after you dropped out of college? Like, did you see like an instant return on spending more time in the market?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Anybody that knows anything about the market in 2020, it was easy money.
Right.
Like, a lot of people came up during that year. So
True.
For me, it was like, it's kind of like a perfect storm because, I'd already been doing this for a few years, and then I was in school, and then I had a pretty good excuse to leave school and just try and lock in with the trading, and the timing worked out because then that's when the market went crazy. Everyone was making crazy gains, so like I said, just a perfect storm the way it worked out.
Yeah, man, I remember that time. Like, I just got introduced and, like, interested in investing in stocks and all that And my parents were like, no, just save your money. We don't know what's going to happen. And I was like, I don't know, though. Like, a lot of people are saying put your money in the stock market. And obviously, I didn't pull that trigger, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I saw the stocks. So I put like maybe $50 in a couple of stocks, right? And I just like saw the progression and like how drastic stocks were like dropping, but then like rising up increasingly, like more than any time before that. And I was like, damn, I know a lot of millionaires were just made.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. 2020, a lot of millionaires came into existence. But unfortunately, like a lot of people didn't really learn. It was free money. It's easy.
Right.
Money. You could buy anything.
Yeah.
It's gonna go up. You're gonna win. Right.
100%.
It's impossible to lose. So the people that didn't actually take the time to learn how the market works and figure out how things are really going down, a lot of them ended up losing a lot of money because the era of free money, easy money is over. Now you have to actually have some understanding and know what you're doing to really make something.
Right. So literally, like you said, it was kind of a perfect storm for you. You already did like most of your research before that. And then basically within you doing your research, 2020 was basically like a jackpot for you.
Exactly.
You were like, damn.
It's like the whole time, I didn't even know it, but it's like I was prepping for 2020.
Yeah. So with knowing that, how often do you think years like 2020 will happen? Obviously, 2008 was the last one. 2020 was the next one. What's your prediction for the next one?
The next
It's crash.
Well, it could be in the near future. You know what I mean? There's always kind of things that are going around. Like you got wars, you got inflation, you got recession. So really, realistically, we could see another opportunity to make some easy money. Within the next 5, maybe 10 years.
Gotcha. So within 10 years, you think something's gonna happen?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. All right, you heard it here first, guys. That's JT's prediction right here.
Yeah. They're gonna play this clip back when it happens.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. So college happened, then 2020. You kind of hit it big in 2020. And what was that money like for you? Like, did you like where was the money? You obviously don't have to say specifics, but like when you hit that money, you were like, oh, I'm like set for a while, or like were you like, okay, that was a cool little help, but like I still got a ways to go, or like what did that look like for you?
It was crazy because when I first started making good money, I kind of calculated it. I said, okay, if I can continue to make this amount of money over this amount of time, then over the next few months this year, by this date, I will have made this amount of money. So I kind of planned it out and thought ahead, and then I was able to kind of put some things in certain places because I knew, by this date I'll have this much, and then so could kind of diversify, right? Most of it was in the stock market at the time because that's where all the easy money was.
Yep.
Started putting some things to the side, got in crypto a little bit of NFTs. But I would say during 2020, majority of it was definitely in the stock market.
Okay, cool. So you made your money in the stock market. What was next? What was that next big thing for you?
So at the end of 2019, right before the pandemic happened, I had started a community called Impact Investments. At the time, it was just a way for me to help a few people that were in my DMs because I would share my stock profits on social media.
Notice the shirt?
Yeah, you see. But people would just message me like, can I learn from you? Can you teach me? You got a course, class, group, something. So I made Impact Investments just as a way to help those people. And it started off pretty small, but then 2020 happened, and a lot of people got interested in the stock market after that.
A trend.
Yeah. So, the people in the group, they were making profits. And then now they're getting their friends in, like, just the word of mouth, like, hey, I joined this guy's group, made a bunch of money, you got to come in. So it kept growing and growing from there. So that was kind of part of the perfect storm. So once I had dropped out, I was already making great money in the markets. I said, I really want to lock in on this entrepreneurship thing too. So I started hiring some more people, bringing other people in to help me run the community. And then that was one of my main focuses along with the money I'm making in the markets.
Got you. And we kind of met around that time, maybe not 2019. When did we meet? Because I know you were kind of still new. Was it Impact Investments that you were new to, or Capital Flow?
I believe Capital Flow was in the beta stage when we met because I wanted to make some stuff just to prep for when I launched it officially.
Right, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Got you. And when was that? I was like,
I want to say January, because I know it was around my birthday, so it was January of last year, was it?
Maybe.
I think we started talking before that, like and connected before that, but then I know we started really locking in and getting more work done in January.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out when we did that first shoot, but yeah, I mean, I've seen, you know, from the beginning of that to where you are now, it's been pretty insane.
Yeah, appreciate
The
that,
growth.
man.
I think one cool thing that I noticed about you as well is like even like your maturity as far as like materialistic stuff. Because I remember, you know, you were in a bigger place, right? You had a nicer car, nicer perspective, right? But like, I remember that and I was like, oh damn, he's doing cool, like he's doing pretty good, right? And then you were like, what happened? You're like, got rid of that. I need to invest more money in the company, and I still got to, you know, you still have a nice ass car, but it's like you downscale, you took one step back to take two steps forward. I thought that was super dope because a lot of people our age are like their ego's super in it, and I just thought that was super dope.
Yeah, you know, it was between my first business and the money I'm making in the markets, it was good money for me to be 20, 21, 22.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm doing what a lot of 20-year-olds would do when they're making a lot of money, which is, you know, cars, cribs, all this type of stuff. And then I just realized like I had to step back and look like, okay, this stuff is cool, but it's like, if I want to really get to that next level, you know, you're talking 8 figures, you know, multiple 8 figures, 10, 20 million. I'm like, none of this stuff even matters.
Right.
Because there's so much higher I can go. So, you know, when I started my second business, Capital Flow, that's the tech company. So I was like, I really don't even care about this stuff. I'm still kind of phasing that stuff out, like the designer clothes and the jewelry and, you know, cars, all that. Like I'm slowly phasing all that out as I enter what I call my tech mogul era. So I feel like that's how I can really grow. Like, and that's for any young person that has goals of, you know, making a lot of money doing all this. Like when you first start getting those checks, you start getting the momentum. Still hold off on the jewelry, hold off on the cars, the designer clothes, all the flashy stuff, because that's only the beginning. You got to be able to look farther than beyond where you're at right now.
100%. And that's super difficult, especially with the world we live in right now with social media and stuff. It's like, oh, I got my first like big check. Like I'm about to go get my car, get a nice place. And most of the time a nice place isn't them buying a house. It's a, you know, a nice apartment or whatever the case may be that, you know, they're not getting any return on. So when I saw that, I gained a lot of respect for you as well. I was like, damn, like, dude's like, and it's not even like you're doing bad. Like you literally took, you know, one step back to take 2 steps forward. And I was like, damn, because I saw your vision before. Like once you did that, I was like, oh, like this is fucking cool.
Yeah, like I thought that I was balling. 21, huge house, sports cars. I'm thinking I'm balling, but I realized like that was nothing.
Yeah,
that was nothing. Like wait another 5 years from now, you're gonna see.
Yeah, I love it, man. Love it. So what else? What else you got going on?
So really focused on growing the tech company right now, growing and scaling that. That's kind of where I found a new passion for it, just being in the tech space. It's a lot of opportunity. It's a lot of great people, a lot of geniuses, brilliant minds with a lot of tech ideas. So for me, it's been about a year, like exactly, because it was 12 months ago. So I'm still kind of navigating and figuring out how to operate in the tech space as a CEO. And it's been challenging, it's been exciting, it's been a lot of fun, but that's really where a lot of the growth has been for me lately.
Yeah, so what does that look like? I'm a really big numbers person, so like, I know it's a little, you're not supposed to ask people these numbers, but like, how much did you put in to even start it, right? And then also, have you seen any, have you already broke that field of like, you know, being positive again within it?
Yeah, so I can say at this point, I've invested 6 figures into the tech company, and we did cross that break-even number. So it's been a blessing, you know. Now I'm able to kind of recoup some of the initial investment, and then eventually start funding my next project, which can't say too much about now. That's another episode for another day.
All right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that's the thing that kind of keeps people out of the tech space is just the cost. Because like I said, I met a lot of people with brilliant ideas, but they haven't launched them because they just don't have the capital.
Right.
And I was blessed enough to be in a position where I had my own funds that I could use to fund my own business. And eventually I want to be able to get to a point where now I'm not only just funding companies for myself, but some of these other brilliant ideas. So that's one of my goals in the tech space in the next few years.
That's awesome, man. I mean, the fact that you started it up, you know, like a year or 2 years ago maybe, and you're already, you know, completely self-funded. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
Yeah. So can't talk about your next, endeavor, but what does that look like as far as like what you can give us, I guess? Is it still in the tech world, or is it real estate? Is it like what does it look like?
So there's a few things that are kind of in the works, but one of the ones that's, I guess I could say probably closer, easier to see than the others, is right now I'm a trader. I've been a trader for years now, and I have 2 companies built around trading. So one of the things I want to do with the tech space is just have companies have basically an umbrella, and underneath that umbrella there's a bunch of companies that deal with every aspect of trading, right? So as of right now, I have Capital Flow, which is an options flow service. I have Impact Investments, the trading community. Eventually looking to have my own charting software, so there's things like TradingView or Thinkorswim where people look at charts, those red green lines. So I'll have my own charting software, possibly my own trading platform where you can actually buy and sell things on your own, and just, like I said, have every aspect of trading covered under my umbrella.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
That'd be insane. Almost a little monopoly, but
Exactly. a little something,
I like it. That's fire, man. And what's your time frame for that? When do you want to achieve that? Because I know we already talked, and you set goals, and usually the goals you set are a little smaller than what you can achieve in that time. Like usually, like you hit those goals way quicker than you thought you would.
Yeah, I don't like to put a time frame on it, like by this date I'm gonna have this done.
Right.
For me, it's more of a thing like I take my time, but I don't waste time.
I like it.
So I spend as much time as possible. I work hard as possible, but at the same time, I'm not rushing it, because if you have a date on it and then you fall a little behind and you start rushing it and things get sloppy and stuff like that. So my quote is just take your time without wasting time.
I like it. Put that on a shirt.
Yeah.
Somebody put that on a shirt.
Oh no, I'm gonna put that on the shirt.
Yeah,
y'all better not.
You better trademark that, my guy.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get that.
I like it. Cool. You got any questions, Jay? I mean, like, I just wanted Jay to be on this podcast just to get like an outside perspective, because
I really want to learn.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing. But kind of circling back around to like I know you said since high school you've really had the mentality of hustling and making money. But how long would you say that you've had the mindset and mentality of hustling, making money, and setting your goals? Like when did that kind of start for you?
It's crazy because I really feel like for me it was something I was born with. Like even when I was 8 years old, you turn 8 on your 8th birthday, your grandma gives you $10, for your birthday. A lot of kids, they go buy toys or buy candy. Like I would take that $8 or $10, whatever, I go put it in the drawer. I just save it. And I'm 23 now, but I probably still got money that's 15 years old, which is crazy. I probably still got some of that money from my 8th birthday. So it's like, it was just always in me. I can't really, I have to give credit to my parents. My dad, I watched him work hard. He was an entrepreneur, 9 to 5. He did a few different things, but I feel like that's what really kind of instilled it in me, just watching my father.
It's kind of built in.
Right.
Gotcha.
That's super dope, yeah.
That's funny you say that, because literally the same thing with me.
Yeah.
Like, I like saving money, but I like spending money too. And even when I was younger, man, I forget, it was like 2nd grade, and like I used to buy, sell, and trade Hot Wheels with people.
Oh yeah,
like, bro, I got in trouble a couple of times because like kids would use their whole lunch money.
Yep.
And then like I'd be like, nah, I sold them the car. Like,
yeah, I was doing
I remember
like
those.
football, baseball cards.
Yeah.
That. And I got in trouble too. The teachers used to not like that.
Yeah.
No,
they used to try to punish the hustlers.
Yeah,
back in
facts,
the day.
100%. Even in high school, I remember, I didn't go this far, but I remember like people selling candy and stuff.
Yep.
Always used to get in trouble, but I respect the hustle for sure.
Oh yeah, selling brownies and hot Cheetos and shit. Everybody
Yeah.
used to be doing that.
Whatever you can get your hands on,
man.
man.
Yeah.
Nah, the
that was a hot
Matrix, they don't like
commodity.
that.
Nah, no, they punish you for that.
Yeah, that was a hot commodity too, especially in high school.
Oh yeah.
Some hot Cheetos.
Oh, high school is crazy.
100%. That's funny though. Yeah, that's actually really true. But I say I like spending money too, because when I was younger, I used to make the money and go spend it.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I still love spending money. You can see my IG talk. I still vacations, 5-star restaurants.
JT spent some money.
I'm not afraid to spend some money, but more than spending it, I love making it.
You know where to put it.
Saving it. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with enjoying spending money, because you want to enjoy the nice things in life. But you got to enjoy earning it and saving it more than you like spending it, because
100%.
that's what's always going to keep me from having more than I'm spending.
Right. 1,000%. Especially investing.
Oh,
Investing.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Even more than saving, I'd say, honestly. Investing is pretty damn smart.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's one thing that I want to ask you. Have you always enjoyed working hard? Because I know a lot of people, they don't like to work hard, but they like to reap the benefits of it. But you have to love working hard to be able to do that, day in and day out.
Yeah, for me, it's just like, that's just life. Like, my life is work. Like, you know, when I'm at Domino's, I'd work from open until close. And then a lot of people, they were in there, they were kind of lazy. Like, the way it worked, you had a delivery would pop up, and then every driver had an order. So the next delivery would go to this driver, then the next one, then the next one. And a lot of people, they just say, oh, that's far or whatever, blah, blah, blah. They didn't feel like doing it. They say, you know, anybody else want to take it? I'm taking it. I'm taking 2-3 people's deliveries at a time, because I'm like, yo, that's money. Like, y'all are missing out on money. I'd rather stand around here and do nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now for me, work is that's just part of who I am. That's just instilled in me.
Yeah, I really feel like hard work and like going 365 days is, for some people, you can build that kind of mindset, but I feel like it's integrated from birth for most hustlers.
Yeah, I feel like the hustlers that are really at the top of the food chain, they're the ones that were just born with it. They didn't have to.
That or your childhood made it.
100%.
Like, a lot of times your childhood will really define how far you're going to go.
Yeah, facts. That's like the foundation for who you're going to be as an adult.
Yeah.
So I like to ask people this as well, because I know it can get mistaken sometimes. But like, what's your schedule look like through your day to day? Like, when are your working hours? When are your resting hours? When are your like hours that you just like kind of settle down? Because I know a lot of people are like, damn, like all these rich people must work like 24-hour days. Like, nah, dog. Like, usually for me, I feel like I'm super productive for like 4 to 5 hours out of the day, and that's pushing it.
Yeah.
Like, productive as like locked in, I get a lot done.
No, I'm
right? And I get a lot done, and then like the rest of the day working out, kind of like, you know, starting to shut down my body for sleep.
Right.
A little bit of self-care at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what does that look like for you? Like, when do you wake up? Or obviously, you know, everything changes, but like, what's the time that you would like to wake up every day, and like your average of waking up every day, and then like when are you usually going to sleep, and when are your work hours?
Yeah, so I'm not an early riser. I wake up between like 7, maybe 8 at the latest, 7 to 8. Start doing a little bit of market research. Every day a market opens, which is 9:30 here on the East. I get on a call with Impact Investments, the community, and I feel like that's where I'm really most productive, because that's when I'm actually trading, actually on the calls, teaching, getting in and out of trades, entering and exiting. So that's where I really need to be the sharpest. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my most productive hours. And then after that, you know, I do things like my social media content, posts, DMs, emails. I get on phone calls, talk to software developers, figure out some things for capital flow, what are we working on, talk to lawyers, attorneys, whatever other business calls needs to be made at the time. Take a little bit of free time in the afternoon to go work out, kind of, you know, reset my mind, things like that. Just take a step back, get a nice little lift in, and then eat some food. In the evening, that's when I kind of start winding down, like you said, you know, maybe get on YouTube. Lately, I've been looking into a lot of artificial intelligence stuff, because we're looking to do some stuff with that with my business. So that's big. I know Jay's big on that. But and then just kind of make some calls to my family, like my mom, grandmom, sister, whatever. And then that's just pretty much the end of my day.
Gotcha. I need to start integrating that last part right there, man.
Yeah. You gotta stay tapped in with your people. And that's my ideal day. I can't even call it the average day, because it probably happens less than half of the time. That's like maybe like 40% of the time my day looks like that.
That's what we're shooting for.
I mean, things get jumbled up, especially I know being an entrepreneur, shit just pops up out of nowhere.
Yeah,
so.
you know how it is.
But yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, because I just like to, I like to hear people's like ideal day, like you said.
But it's not like wake up at 3 in the morning and then work until midnight or whatever.
Yeah, like a rock schedule.
I feel like a lot of people have that that misinformation of that's how a lot of people are. And even when I was like doing my own thing full time, like I thought it was that way at first, and I burnt out so quick, bro.
Oh, yes.
I burnt out so quick, and I was like, this makes no sense.
That's the way social media portrays it.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not sustainable though.
It's not,
really
not at all. And I was like, no, like let me watch the videos on people and their routines. And I was like, damn, Like these people are only working 4 hours a day, realistically.
Yep.
But like they're going at it for those 4 hours. It's not like for an hour here and then an hour that, you know what I mean? It's 4 hours consistently, and then their day just progressively like dewinds. If that makes sense. So, yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I like to hear people's ideal day. So that was cool. And you kind of touched bases on one thing in that sentence. What does it look like to run a tech company, or like to even start it up? Because I didn't think about the whole attorneys and the lawyers and all these things. Like it kind of just kind of opened a wormhole for me. Honestly, in my head, I was kind of thinking crazy. I was like, damn, like there's way more than I thought. It's not just open a tech company. What goes into it?
Yeah, it's interesting. At the end of the day, to keep it simple, there's really 3 routes you can go if you want to start a tech company, right? So obviously you got to have an idea first. That's the easy part,
Right.
Just come up with something, an idea, right? So then you got 3 routes to take. So one, you can do it yourself, put in the work. If you know how to code, you can do the coding, you can create it, right, dress it up, make it look nice. For me, I didn't go that route. I know kind of some basic beginner stuff, but I'm not an expert, So if I were to do it myself, it's gonna look like somebody did it themselves. It's gonna look like a beginner that doesn't really know what they're doing. It's not
Right.
gonna look nice, right? The other option, or number 2, is you can pay somebody that knows how to do it, right? If you already have some money, maybe from another venture or another hustle that you've been doing, you can hire a team. You can put together a team of professionals that maybe do have 10 to 15 years of experience. They can put it together for you. That's the route that I went. I think that's the path of least resistance if you already have the funds available. If you don't have those funds available, then route number 3 is you need to try and get investors to buy into your company. And it was never really something that I wanted to do. I got some friends that they took that route and they just fly around the country now every week or every other week, whatever, and they just go to events and pitch their company to investors. They get 1,000 no's and they're hoping to get that one yes. It's doable, you know what I mean, but it's a little bit more of a process because it's kind of hard to get that yeses. And then when you do, you got to work things out with the investor, and it depending on how it's structured, you can pretty much be working for them at some point. So that was never something that I wanted to do. So for me, I think the path of least resistance was, I already was blessed enough to be in a position where I had those funds. So I went out and I hired a team, people that are experts, put a whole team together, and they built a beautiful software, man. So
What did that look like for you? Like, how did you, first of all, like, find these people? Like, were you just, like, Googling, tech people? Or and then, like, what did it cost, like, roughly?
So it was interesting because I had impact investments already since 2019. And it was March of 2020. Well, even before that, the summer after 2019, right? A guy joined a group, and he just messaged me. He said, hey, I have a background in tech. I'm new to trading, but if you ever have any tech needs, just let me know. I'm your guy. And he probably had the fastest transition from beginner to pro that I've ever seen when it comes to trading. Like, the guy is really brilliant. And it got to a point where he got so good with trading in such a short amount of time, ended up making him one of the admins in my group. So he's helping out, calling out things. And he lived in Colorado at the time. So then March of 2021 is when I flew out to Colorado, not even to meet with him. I was on some other business, but I knew he lived there. So I was like, hey, just come out and let's link up. So I started talking with him, and then we started talking about the group impact, and then the conversation became, how can we build on top of what's already been created with the group, right? And with him having a background in tech, me having a background in trading, access to a community, a growing trading community, we said, if we can really put our heads together, we can grow a company that's kind of an extension of the first business. You know what I'm saying? So there were a lot of challenges that came with that. There's a lot of regulations and stuff when it comes to the stock market. So, like I said, you got to get the legal stuff straight. That was a freaking headache. You got to, but it's important because, you got to have all your ducks in a row. You don't want the SEC knocking at your door. You know what I mean? So we got all that straight. We launched a beta version, which was only available to members of the community at first, so we get feedback. We took their feedback, built on top of it, and a few months later, we launched the official capital flow, which is what's available today.
So, roughly how much time did it take to completely launch it?
So from March 2021 is when the idea was first brought up, And then in June of 2022 is when we officially launched Capital Flow.
Okay. So it's a good amount of time.
Yeah, a little over a year.
Yeah. Okay. Dope. So then, like, with that being said, like, what did you have to pay him, like, all up front, or since you guys were like already cool, like, how did that work for you? Like, what was your deal structured like?
Yeah, so he has equity in the company because we so it was an equity split.
Gotcha. Cool. I just have interest in those.
Yeah,
types of
yeah.
business.
and he's been in the tech world. He's built other tech companies before. The last one he built was in Forbes. So
there you go.
he's been doing this for
He's a real
like,
deal.
Yeah, like 15 years now. So this is what he does. Like
Gotcha.
he builds tech companies for people. So he knows people. Like he said we can hire this person, we can do that. And I looked into them, and then I brought some other people in that could kind of had that mix of trading with technology, and the team is great. It's like I said, it's just been a blessing. Like not saying it's been easy, it's definitely been difficult, been some challenges, but we're here now.
That's awesome. So since it was an equity split with him, where did that $100,000 go to? Or not $100,000, but the 6 figures that you invested into it. Like where did that exactly go to?
Different data developers and data providers, because the way that it works essentially, Capital Flow, it shows you what hedge funds, institutions, multimillionaire traders are buying. It shows you what they're buying and when they're buying it, so you can see that and make the same moves as the most successful traders, right? So to even get access to that information, there's a company called OPRA, Options Price Reporting Authority, and they store all that information on a database. And anybody can tap in and get that information, but you have to pay them a fee every month, right? And it's a pretty hefty fee. So you pay that fee, and then they give you the data, but then it's just raw data, and that's hard to read, just a white screen, a bunch of black text, all small. It's hard to look at. The average person's not going to look at that and know what they're seeing. So we pay to get that data, and then we go through another company called Enthralling, so we have to dress it up, make it look presentable, right? So we pay them fees every month, just to make it look readable to the average person that's not a tech person, right?
Gotcha.
And then, just between paying those two companies, having other people on the staff that are working and things like that, getting website designs, all that stuff, logos, whatever, it ends up adding up to a little over 6 figures.
Gotcha. Gets expensive fast.
Yeah, it can get expensive.
Gotcha.
Especially because we were in the beta phase for so long just building it, but we still have to pay these people.
Right.
And we don't even have any customers in yet.
Right. So now it's fully launched.
Yep.
And then the website name is
capitalflow.app.
.app. Cool. Yeah, we'll put that in the description for sure.
Cool.
And then also your Discord. It's just a Discord, or is that a website as well?
Yeah, it's a Discord. So the best way to connect with everything I have is go to my Instagram. It's @thealmightyJT, and then I have a link in my bio. It can take you to Capital Flow, and it will also take you to Impact Investments.
Cool. Well, I think you answered quite a bit of my questions. Maybe not all of them. So I think another episode is definitely on its way. Yeah, for sure. Any last things? Any last statements? Anybody?
Maybe just one more question.
Yeah.
All right, one more.
One more question.
One more.
So, to an entrepreneur of any kind, like whether you have a physical business or whether you're starting a business, you're an entrepreneur, you want to do something, you have no experience trading stocks, crypto, or anything like that. What would you recommend the skill sets that you need to build, and what would you recommend the mindset you need to come into trading with?
So are you talking about just for trading or for entrepreneurs, or just kind of both?
For entrepreneurs who are already familiar with, like say you have a physical business or you have a shop or something like that, but you want to get into trading just because you're interested, what would you recommend?
Well, I say it's 2023, so if you want to learn something, there's literally no excuse not to. You know
Right.
what I mean, you can't sit there and say, oh, I don't know how to do it, so I'm not going to do it. You know how to get on YouTube. You know how to type in how to trade. You know how to go to Instagram @thealmightyJT and click the link in my bio and learn from
There
Impact
you go.
Investments. You know what I mean? And then from there, I would say, like we talked about earlier, take your time without wasting time. That's a lot of people's problem. They know exactly what they need to do, and they keep telling themselves, oh, yeah, I'm going to start doing it, I'm going to do that, but then they don't. Like, a lot of people know what they need to do. They keep saying, oh, I'm going to start, getting my business together, I'm going to get my LLC, I'm going to start researching, or, I'm going to get in the gym, I'm going to start eating healthy. But then they sit here and say, oh, I don't know what to do. Like, you know exactly what to do. You're just not doing it. You know what I mean? So do the things that you know you're supposed to do, and then take your time without wasting time.
So stop with the I'm gonna and just do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Love
Take
it.
action.
Just do it. Hey, put the Nike check on the screen right now. Just do it, my guy. But cool. Damn Good HQ, episode 2. I think it was a success. I appreciate you coming out, JT. Yeah. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all for having me. This is dope.
Cool. Appreciate you, bro.
We'll see you guys in the next episode.
All right.
Peace.